Let's start with them dogs.
Okay. All right. Well, fuck it. Versus this week, Snoop DMX. What you got? What you thought?
I should probably go second. Nah, I thought it was a good. First and foremost, let me get the flowers, man. It was two great entertainers from the hip hop community. I forget, I was a down south. I'm obviously a down south dude. You as well. We some down south Florida boys, down south Louisiana boys. So I say that to say, like, I didn't realize how many hits X had.
Yeah, he got hits.
And I knew X had hits. I've listened to X. You know what I'm saying? But I guess I didn't realize how big X was, because his run wasn't.
Right? No, it wasn't.
It wasn't that. It was long, but it wasn't that long.
Nah, I wouldn't. I would say, bruh, 99 to maybe 03. And then afterwards, he was sort of like a enigma.
Okay.
Because that's when he started getting in trouble.
Nah, but I remember people bumping X and like, yeah, he did get in trouble. He did start getting in trouble.
I'm not saying he didn't put work in, but I'm just saying that's when he started to like kind of fall back. He,
Okay.
99 to like 01, he was like probably the biggest rapper in the world.
Yeah. I give him that. I would have said, 'cause I was still hearing people bumping him. I didn't really come into like X until this was probably like 04, 05.
He still had shit. It was just that's when he was like having problems with his baby mama. He was going in and out of jail.
He'll never let her go.
You know what I'm saying?
He love her. He'll never let her go.
Yeah, I mean, he
said it.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's when he started to like fall to the back and was a legend from what he did. And if he did shit, people would want to go to see him in concert, get the album. But at that point, that's when Wayne and all these other the Dipset and all them niggas were starting to take off.
Yeah. That was about 05. Yeah, I think 05 when Dipset started bubbling. Wayne, but
because Oboe was 02. I distinctly remember when he came out in 96, but
who you talking?
It's the main guy in
who came out in 96?
Who's the main guy in
Cameron.
Yeah, Cameron 02 with
who was 96?
He came out in 96. Like his first shit was 96. Cameron.
Oh.
But 02 is when he had like his first big hit, and he was on Rockefeller. And with that, I think it was Mariah Carey. Oh Boy?
Yeah.
That Oh Boy came out. And because I remember Crossing, and that was kind of like the song that was being played all over the place.
Okay.
But yeah, around that time, around 03, 04, that's when he started kind of like falling back. And I guess almost became, and then, after a while, maybe close to like 2010, he started becoming a caricature of himself. At least as far as like,
we still talking Cameron?
No. I'm back on Dog.
Yeah, that's what.
That X. My bad.
You weaving in and out of these.
Yeah, I make my point as far as like, that was around the time he started to fall out.
Gotcha.
Like 03, 04, he was
on top of the world.
He was afterthought coming that point.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I'll say this, man. I think it was a great showing by the two of them. I'm just gonna come out and say it. Snoop absolutely won, but I think as big as X was, I think this versus kind of showed that Snoop is in a whole nother
I didn't
stratosphere.
Think about it. I didn't think about it until like afterwards. Some people started saying it, but like that Doggy Style is like it's beyond a classic.
But not even just that. Like I'm watching, and I understand that like their lives have gone completely different over time and things, right? But X to me was a profound like voice and perspective, right? And he just so happened like he's got a lot of the elements that make a star. Like he's got a instantly recognizable voice. Like his voice, his tone, he's instantly recognizable. Snoop, the same thing, right?
Yep.
What I saw in this is that everything that X has, Snoop has, and then more.
Yeah.
Snoop is a born star. Like Snoop, one thing
Yeah.
that stood out to
And-
me, X didn't want to take center stage.
And I think that probably is why he fell off like he did, because he got too big. He didn't want it.
He didn't. X
He just wanted to rap.
X was at the left of that screen the
All day.
entire time.
Yeah, like Snoop was enjoying
Snoop
the shit.
is center
Yes.
stage. Snoop understands center stage.
Snoop was doing his part to engage him, to get him to be more
Absolutely.
into it. Yep.
And that's where the difference was to me. And as big as X was, and I recognize how big he was, even though I necessarily wasn't bumping him. But it just goes to show how much more of a because this isn't a comparative thing, but it just goes to show how Snoop is a natural born entertainer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he doesn't shy away from the camera. He don't shy away from the center stage. He's confident in his abilities. Like, even at the end where he was like, "Oh, we done with the 20. Let's just kick some shit."
Yeah.
Like, he's just gonna sit back, kick a foot up. Like,
did a freestyle.
he didn't strike me like I'm gonna try to appeal to like these young cats. Like, this was almost like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, but with Snoop.
Yeah.
Let's
Uncle Snoop.
pull up a chair, y'all. Let me kick up my foot. Let me roll this J real quick. Put
Uncle
some
Snoop,
shit on.
He did that shit. He did that sing. He did that skit. Uncle Snoop.
There you go. And it's like, but the show never let up. While Snoop was on that camera, like, the show didn't let up. He was there to entertain and to, like, there was no, like, I'm too tough to do this. I'm too tough to do that. Like, I'm seeing the memes of, like, Snoop dancing and shit, and it's just like, he literally out there just having a good time and making sure that the people viewing had a good time. And not saying X wasn't doing that as well, but just showing that, like, they're in different, I would say they're in different classes as far as entertainers go.
Yeah, Snoop just more of a natural entertainer. I mean, like I said, I mentioned it earlier. Like, all X wanted to do was rap. Like, the fame fucked him up. I feel like that's what fucked him up.
Yeah.
And kind of circle back to what I was saying earlier about his run.
What you said earlier. Tell them what you said
about
earlier.
about his run being like 98 to like 2002. The reason why I said that, because I'm a little older, I distinctly remember, I think it was either fall 98, fall 99 Bayou Classic in New Orleans on fucking Bourbon Street. That fucking stop, drop, shut them down, opened up shop, came on, and like the whole fucking Bourbon Street just like stop, drop, shut it, like, and I was like, bruh, and that's a New York nigga. You know what I'm saying? That was, I feel like
culture.
I feel like that was really his hype, like that 98, 99 period when he dropped them 2 albums in the same year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he was hot. Like, I like songs on a couple albums after that, but I didn't like the albums like I liked the first 2. Like that Blood and Flesh or whatever, I didn't like that one. It had a couple songs on that, but at that point he was just the biggest rapper in the world.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like came about 2003, 2004, that's when he started getting all those issues. And he kind of fell out. And people, as they do, out of sight, out of mind. You kind of forget how big someone might have been.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially as society moves from
But I never
CDs
forget that shit.
to MP3s to more.
Like, nigga, I'm walking down Bourbon Street. It's about 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. And that song come on, and literally the whole fucking street is yelling.
Yeah.
Stop.
And that said something to me because I this was a recent thought that I've had, but there's something to be said about towns and cities like New Orleans where the culture is so strong, right? So if you could penetrate like that culture,
And that's uniquely Louisiana centric that weekend.
yeah, and it's like because when you go to New Orleans, like there's no mistaking New Orleans for anywhere else.
Nope.
You know what I mean? It's one of the very few
I've had
towns.
To add to it, I've had professors from out of the country that basically said there are a few cities in the world that are unlike any other in the world, and New Orleans is one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And I mean, it's just everything from the food to the language to just the culture,
Like
the music, everything is different about like it doesn't feel like if you want to travel and feel like you left the country, but you're still in the country, you go to New Orleans.
New Orleans and Miami a bit, but that's just because it's very Cuban and Hispanic and Caribbean.
Similar to how I feel Snoop and DMX are in different classes of entertainers, I feel like New Orleans to Miami, they're different classes.
I mean, I'm not gonna argue with you.
So I feel like, and I get what you're saying about Miami, but I still feel like
I try to be fair. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Because I know I'm a homer for Louisiana and New Orleans, so I'll be like, I'm gonna give it. But in the United States, I know New York. You give New York, you give New Orleans. Maybe LA, and then I think Miami.
But when I'm talking culture. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Yep.
So it's like you still feel familiar I still feel familiar when I landed JFK. You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, you get out and it's like, now what I will say is different is like when you hop on, if you get on like a train and you catch like some of the street performers on like a train, like at that point, then it's like, yo, I ain't never seen no shit like this. You know what I'm saying? Or them boys, pull out and you just get like a show literally on the corner in New York. Like shit like that is what takes you kind of back. But New Orleans, like when I was there, like nothing felt familiar. Not even the Popeyes. I went to that damn Popeyes. That Popeyes on the corner of Canal and Bourbon.
Like I say, bro.
This ain't Popeyes.
Even in Louisiana, it's like Popeyes in New Orleans is better.
I'm like, the one thing that I thought I knew, I went there and I'm like, nah, dog, y'all. Nah. I want to have a talk with your CEO.
There was one. And I don't know if it's still the same, but there's one Bayou Classic, bro. I bought Coke. So they had like their own bottling plants in New Orleans as well. And man, the Coke was just different. I was like, man,
what are you saying?
Coca-Cola.
Okay, cause
Coca-Cola.
Where are we going with this podcast?
Like I distinctly remember those, like it was like a Coke bottle, the 2 liters, we were drinking Crown and Coke. And I was like, man, this Coke is good. I don't know if it's the water that they're using in it, but god damn, this Coke is good. I'm gonna get some more of this shit. But you ain't gonna hear me complain anything about New Orleans. With that said, circling back to the topic, I too agree that Snoop took that, but I kind of figured that going into it. Snoop he's been relevant for a long fucking time.
Absolutely.
Like, he's been relevant. And he just got too much catalog. Although he did stick to a lot of his, like, Doggy Style. He played a lot of Doggy Style. Like, some songs I didn't think he was going to play, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm glad you did.
I mean, I personally think he did that because, fuck it. I think he did that to kind of throw X a bone in a little ways because Snoop could have bossed him, I think, and that's a Spades term.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Well, let me not say Boston.
He got a few.
Let me not say Boston because there's like 2 where it's like you just give X the win, so not a Boston, but he could have dimed him. Let's put it at that. A Boston is rare in Spades anyway, so but he could have dimed him. He could have. All right, you're gonna get 3 books, and then the rest of this.
I didn't think about it until just now, but maybe him and Swiss had a talk beforehand.
Swiss and who?
Yes. You know what I'm saying? Throw him a bone.
I think what they're trying to.
Swiss does a lot for DMX.
No, absolutely. I mean, yeah. I mean, them two, they kind of catapulted one another, Yep. So early on in their career, that is. But I just think that if you know Snoop's catalog, you know Snoop's recent hits, back to Doggy Style. Like somebody, I don't know where I was listening, but somebody was like, Snoop can literally probably put Doggy Style on, Let It Ride, and be okay in this, and still probably come out on top. That's not even tying into like his Pharrell hits to like sexual, what was it, sexual seduction or whatever, like hits like that where it's just like, where the hell did this even come from? And for it to be like one of the bigger hits in like 07, 08, you know, at that time. Like that's when Lil Wayne was at like the top of his. Lil Wayne was on everybody's track, and then here come Snoop, 20 years in. Let me just hit y'all with this banger real quick. You know what I'm saying? I remember that. That was when we was throwing house parties, man, charging people 300, 400 at the house party in Pine Hills. Yeah, over there off of North Lake, man. Yeah. Come party with us before the shit gets shot up. So that just goes to show, man, that he's just a different caliber of entertainer, and I love X, and I'm thankful for what X has contributed to the culture. Yes. But we gotta Snoop. If X get flowers, Snoop need like an arrangement. He need like a bouquet. He need something, because it's crazy how long he's been able to last and provide us just entertainment. Period. Even if he's cooking with Martha Stewart, like he's not out of character. He's still Snoop. Yeah. And he'll still give you that in a bar on a hot track this year. And it's like, dog, he been in the game 30 years and still is entertaining, still crip walking, still putting hits out. It's crazy, dog. He's a different tier of entertainer. And flowers to both of those gentlemen, man.
Yes, sir.
But bouquets to Snoop.
Next up.